Hello, friends, and welcome to another issue of Portergraphic. I'm Brian Mann.
I'm Brian Mitchell.
I'm Eric Mitchell.
How's it going?
Good.
Going well.
Going good.
Lots of good comics.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have beer,
We
like
do.
always.
Yep. First beer is from Windshift.
Just up the road here.
Yeah, mile up the road.
A nano brewery.
Soon to be maybe microbrewery.
Expansion. I sure hope so, because everything they do is super, super solid.
Yeah.
So this is their cranberry orange farmhouse sour.
Cranberry orange farmhouse sour. So there's a word in there, Brian, that you don't normally like. Farmhouse. Because when we talk about the Tank 7,
Oh, yeah.
you're like,
But that's not the sour.
That is true. A saison is not a sour.
It's just gross.
This right. It smells delicious. It smells really good.
So to me, it's almost less of a sour and more of a tart. Almost like a sweet tart.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But it is
And it has a
delightful.
citrusy kind of feel to it. Speaking of citrus kind of feels, our first comic is Powers of X, the finale.
What does that have to do with...
It's called a segue. It's a bad one.
but a segue
probably,
has to make sense. I mean,
Krakoa's probably growing some oranges.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know, so
And you know
citrus.
those sacks that they popped out of? They were kind of orange. Very, very, very zesty.
Wow.
The zest.
It is really good beer. That's. I hope they continue making.
No kidding. All right, that's two things they do really well: the IPAs and their sours. So I was super excited to read this. I mean, it was first book I cracked open. Something has bothered me in this series, and I don't know if it bothered you guys, but Mariah's earrings. Okay, maybe I'm the only one. They're just like huge. Then I thought they were discs at first, but they're actually gold balls. So I almost was like, were we alluding to the whole resurrection thing with that, or am I just reaching?
What are you
I didn't even know
about?
she was wearing.
Yeah, I didn't notice them at
earrings.
all.
Dude, how do you not notice them? I mean, they're
Oh, in the
huge.
okay.
Oh. Like that bothered you?
Yeah.
I just kind of felt like it was.
Feels
part
like
of
it's
the-
going to
the
give her
fashion
osteoporosis
of-
or something at some point. I mean, she's going to be like
Osteoporosis?
all stooped over with her back broken from wearing these earrings.
Wow.
I mean, they're probably not like real gold balls.
Thank you, Brian.
Just saying. Like they're probably just like thin loops.
So
I don't know what to say. Like you're
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So all this time, I thought it was the mutants ascending, but it's actually the machines.
Right,
which was-
like the post-humans.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, I mean we've kind of we get to know what that sixth life it was. Like
Yeah.
all along, this year 1000 has been her sixth life, and so somehow in that preserve, Moira and Logan like have kept each other alive that entire time.
yeah.
Somehow. Yeah, and then they figure out, well, the world is ending tomorrow, so it was time for Moira to go
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and move on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So life 7.
and is Life 7? I need to probably go back. Is Life 7 the one where she's like, "Screw it, I'm going in with Apocalypse," and because
it seems like it, but
Maybe. Yeah. Interesting.
So another thing I picked up on going forward, they didn't want any precogs because the mutants always lose.
Mhm.
So they haven't figured it out. I mean, as far as I can tell.
No, they
On how to win?
Yeah.
No, they don't know how to win yet.
No.
I think the whole
They
point
have
is that they don't win. I mean, eventually, I think the whole point would be to show that they try as they might, they never will win.
Even knowing all that they know this time,
they still
and
can't
doing
make it
everything that they can think of. It's just not going to work. But I loved Moira's line to Charles there early into it, where she says, in all my lives, you've never changed. And he says, thank you.
Good.
And she's like, that's not a compliment. Like, we've got to change you this time. You've got to be different for this to end it differently.
And so I think that's why we see that major shift in...
We're not just giving the gifts now. Now it's
well, not even that. Just like the you called it like the sinister look, and he's more of a fuck you. I don't know.
Well, he hasn't gotten to that point. I don't think he's ever going to go over and become some kind of villain. But
no,
maybe I don't know.
But the dream is dead.
Yeah,
his
coexisting
dream,
and holding hands.
Kumbaya.
He knows there's no going back to that at this point. Which, even though that's not a villain turn, that's still huge for Professor X,
sure, because he's,
and to be sure, I'm not saying he's turning into a villain.
Yeah,
I think, and it goes along with what you were saying. I think he's learned he's going to have to do things out of character for himself to possibly win or to even survive, and that's what gave me the whole he's going to turn into Nimrod theory. Mm-hmm. Because that's something completely out of character, but selfless at the same point. I don't know. I think all good books leave you wanting more. This book left me wanting a bunch more. Like, I didn't need it all tied up in a nice bow, but
we got another WubWub moment.
It certainly did feel like the Ewoks celebrating.
I felt like I was watching the last 5 minutes of Return of the Jedi. It was like, oh, here's Coruscant. Here's Tatooine. Here's random planet.
But what I do love is this has given such an awesome springboard for me, who was not reading any X-Men books at all, to collect 12 books in 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I plan on getting a number one of each one of the little X-Men spinoff series.
Yeah.
And just at least give them a chance and see what it's about. What a great jumping off point for a new
And I
reader.
think that's what you have to look at it as, is not, he wasn't trying to tell you a complete story. He's trying to reset the X-Men universe, and then here's where we're going to go from this. And what an awesome springboard it's been.
It really is.
I'm excited about reading all the ones that are coming out. Before
this, I had read that a little bit of X-Men Red, and then that Phoenix Resurrection, and then the that Rogan Gambit in Paradise. But like, I wasn't into like Uncanny X-Men like you all that stuff. But like, now it's like, yeah, let's do it, because like you guys basically have said, like, he's reset the table, and the pieces he's put back on are very good.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna move on now to Event Leviathan, the second before the last one, number 5.
Number 5.
Yep.
So you got a really nice cover there, sir. Some like watercolor pastel looking shit.
So this book has just been full of red herrings, and that's a cool cover too, dude.
Yeah, that's the one that I got.
You never really know what's going on. The one thing you can be sure of is Damien will be a smart ass.
100%.
And that's pretty awesome. The clues to me in this one, this is the first mention of Maxwell Lord. and he was the villain in the 80s Justice League. He came back, I think, Suicide Squad from the reboot. So that one seems like kind of a no-brainer. Like if you put out this whole event and you're trying to figure out who the bad guy is, Maxwell Lord should probably jump to the top of the leaderboard. Lex Luthor. So I don't know that that's really going to be.
Well, it's definitely a possibility now that they've mentioned him. I was totally thrown off because, towards the end, they're talking about the tech of the Manhunter lady, and then, but I don't know anyone else who's been a Manhunter. I
don't either.
I probably should have Googled it and tried to figure it out, but I don't know.
I totally put that in my notes as well.
I had no idea there was a Manhunter other than a Martian Manhunter before this. So,
well, they mentioned Maxwell Lord, Jimmy Olsen, and Ra's al Ghul.
Well, it's probably not Ra's al Ghul.
Well, and again, that one feels like a no-brainer as well.
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen?
No, no way, dude. A little camera boy?
Yeah. Which would be pretty awesome.
Not really. It'd be weird.
So, yeah, I don't know.
One of the funny parts about this is like when they're fighting and she's like, Plan B, call Batman. And I was like, Plan B is Batman. So this whole time I've been saying it could be Malcolm Merlyn. I'm like 100% convinced it's not Malcolm Merlyn now, which depressed me. But I wanted to ask your guys' opinion. Like, has this been good for you guys? Like, do you guys like this?
So the first issue I didn't like just because I thought the voices didn't sound like the people they were supposed to be. Like that's not something that would have came out of Lois's mouth or out of Batman's mouth.
Okay.
Past that, I've been digging it. The only thing I don't like is I don't know that I'm going to feel satisfied when I know who it is, that I had enough clues to put that together myself. Mm-hmm. To me, I think it's better written if the clues are all there, like Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
The clues were all right there in front of you if you chose to put it together. If you didn't, well, then you're like, oh, I totally missed that.
Which we don't have the last issue yet, so
correct.
There could be some
we could get that aha moment.
Yeah, and it could be Alfred.
It's definitely grown on me.
Definitely not Alfred.
Yeah.
Because the first two, I was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
The thing that has kept me going with this is the dialogue. I love the banter back and forth. And I feel like in a way it is similar to Identity Crisis, not in the way that we're talking about, but like the use of all the characters. I mean, this is a big cast. Like Identity Crisis was a big cast, but he's used everyone
each person
well.
Has their voice. Yeah.
So I think those two things have kind of stuck out to me and made me enjoy it a little bit more than what I initially thought of it.
Yeah, I've really liked it overall. So
and I don't know, this issue we didn't talk about the other team of detectives either. So
I feel like if you show up in book 5, you're not super important because
we saw them in book 4.
Yeah, like on the very last page.
Yeah. So maybe book 6 we'll get some more answers, but
I wonder. So the only thing about them is like, oh, you know nothing. Well, who do you have? Oh, well, we have all these people. Oh, well, none of them could have done it. Okay, it kind of seems odd that right now you're here in this moment, able to tell me we've done all this extra research on this, and we've done all this other investigative work, and all these people that you have spent all this time trying to figure out who it might be. Yeah, it's not any of those people. I don't know. That feels very convenient for me. Yeah. And so that could be a red herring.
Well, we've definitely seen enough of them.
Yeah. So who knows? But a couple weeks on that one, I think, till 6 comes out, right?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. So. The Batman grave.
really almost didn't pick this up.
I picked it up because I knew it was probably something that you guys picked up because it would
catnip.
It wouldn't have been something that that I normally went for.
Well, I mean, it's Warren Ellis, so that's usually a plus. And right off the bat, pardon the pun, I love that it's a detective story.
Yeah, if anybody was complaining about not having detecting in their Batman comics, you should probably go pick this comic up because
it's a real Batman detective story.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest, I enjoyed everything about it. The way it's written is very good. The art's good.
Alfred's exquisite taste in scotch is good.
That's a savage moment. Alfred, what are you doing? Mr. Bruce, come sit down. We got to have a drink. Like, that's a pretty savage moment.
Well, the dialogue between Bruce and Alfred feels like if Batman were a real person and Alfred were, that's how that conversation would go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have just bought Gotham City, right? Like, you didn't have to go out there and punch it one dude at a time. You could have just bought it.
I liked I don't know exactly how it went, but it was something like, you're in a war zone and you're the only one that doesn't realize, you're in a war zone. He was pretty savage there with.
Well, and then Bruce's line, "I can't think like a killer, Alfred. I can only think like a victim."
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just by the title, we probably know where this 12-issue story is going to end up. Because, I mean, if you think about it, you start off with the he goes out, rain or shine every week and wipes off the graves. And he does Thomas's grave, and then he does Martha's grave, and then and the grave yet to be filled. I mean, if I could just write the big word foreshadowing and highlight it, bloop, bloop, neon sign.
Well, I think it's the dude, the murder he has to solve is what it's alluding to.
Could be. Or it could be that Bruce is going to get himself into some shit.
That could be too.
I didn't think I was going to like this.
Yeah, because you didn't pick it up the first week. I had to kind of talk you into it.
Yeah, you did. Because I remember, what was it? A Walk Through Hell or whatever.
Well, that started out good.
Yeah. And then we started talking about Nazis and shit.
I just... dude eating his own arm and
then the dude like unloading unlimited clips into his head.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay,
but that's not a Batman title. So I don't know where that came from.
No, it's Warren Ellis.
No, that's Garth Ennis.
It's the same person.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Wildstorm, Warren Ellis. Preacher, Garth Ennis.
My apologies to whoever's offended by that one. Whichever one.
Where are you going to walk through hell?
Yeah. Damn. Batman 81.
So
Bane.
I'm just not a fan of John Romita Jr.'s Batman art.
Oh, see, I kind of liked it. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't
like the bat whiskers. Where he's shading in on his face.
I mean, you really do you just find stuff that bugs the crap out of you in the art, and you just can't let it go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel like I've been late to the Damien party, but I am way, way on board now. Well, I like the Carrie Kelly Robin, and that's about the only Robin that I've ever really liked.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm just predisposed to not like a Robin. Damien's pretty fantastic.
Well, I mean, he's Bruce Jr., dude.
Yeah. Oh, no, he is way cockier, way more arrogant.
Okay, listen.
Way more
if you
obnoxious.
Were a spoiled little rich fuck, how would you act?
Who's also a trained assassin.
Yeah, how would you act? You'd be like, look,
that's why
if I can't kill you, I'll just buy you out.
That's why I can get behind it. I mean,
yeah. He's savage too. Okay, so here we do. Here's we learned quite a lot.
Oh yes, sir.
point one. So because last time I was like, oh, I don't know who is Thomas Wayne talking about when he needs to pay for this in terms of Gotham Girl. Well, now we know. I still think it's Bane, because we find out in this issue that Bane actually made the venom that gave Gotham Girl and whatever the other guy's name was their powers. And that Batman actually is trying to find an antidote to cure her losing her powers and dying.
Right.
So I think that Thomas knows that Bane's the one that created them, and that's like...
I still don't feel like that it's a cohesive... Because you jumped past the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is Damian's hanging upside down with Thomas pointing a 45 at him, and we're like, which side is Thomas Wayne on? And your contention is he's really against Bane. But if that's completely true, would he have to whoop the entire Bat family's ass?
Well, I mean, they kind of tried to whoop his ass first.
But he could also been like, we're good. I'm on your side.
Yeah, they also could have not tried to shoot an arrow at him.
It didn't work out very well.
It didn't.
For either side.
No.
Yeah. So one of the telling parts to me, and then I'll let you get back to your point and counterpoint. Alfred escaped my father, creating the need for a hostage. Damian played the fool. He went in and got captured. So it almost feels like Alfred's not dead, but I'm pretty sure I watched him get his neck snapped in front of Damian. Not sure how you get around that.
I don't know either.
I can't imagine that they're gonna. I mean, maybe.
But that's what it's. I mean, I thought so too. I wrote down Alfred escaped ? Because it's definitely what it sounds like. But
I'd almost think you'd have to, because like, dude, if Alfred was really dead, I think we would see like some freaking.
We'd see a different version
blood
of Bruce.
rage.
Yeah,
like, I don't care if I die. I'm gonna just murder all of you.
Yeah. Vow what vow?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. It's all convenient though.
I still
that the puzzle pieces are just
they're clicking into place, and that's cool. But I still don't feel like it was a great plan to know. Well, my father's on his way to kill Damian now. The Bat family doesn't show up real quick. I mean, there's still some back and forth between Thomas and Damian where he could have just walked up and shot him in the noodle if he felt like it.
I think the thing is he needed to count on him hesitating.
Yeah.
I need you to hesitate. And the thing is like, also, if you're trying to get to Bane and you know that you can take Bane or your father, but you can't take Bane
both.
And your father,
Yeah.
You need a distraction. And the distraction is,
Yeah, but I'm just telling you,
I'm going to send my kid in.
As a dad, man, I'm not leaving that.
He's got other kids. I mean, they're not biologically his, but he's got other people. So, I mean, if Damien gets smoked, it's fine. He's still got Tim and
I feel like that might be the dumbest thing you've ever said.
well, I'm just saying. Barbara, it's kind of like his weird daughter or lover, depending on what canon
movie you watch. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Batman the Killing Joke, for burning
the movie.
The corneas out of my eyes.
Corneas.
Oh no, Clayface. Posing as Joker. It was
fantastic.
Pretty good. Yeah, enjoyed.
So Clayface is on the good side.
Which
this specific one.
And
he's been a detective.
Tinian's run.
Yeah.
Detective. He was. So that's.
So can somebody explain
Alfred that got his neck snapped been Clayface?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you may have just figured it out.
Because, I mean, hey, man, how do you walk away from a neck? Well, my neck's made of sand.
Clay, yeah.
Or Clay, because Sandman is definitely a Marvel film. You did so good, then you fucked it up again. Yay!
So, was anybody else super confused by the Harvey Bullock pages at the end?
Confused, but I really enjoyed it.
I wish that was like a real video. Like if somebody just shot that, like okay, never mind. All right.
Harvey gone wild.
But you could tell that. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, those were Clay Mann pages, weren't they?
I believe so.
With Harvey, and stark contrast between the two. Yeah.
One's good.
It didn't really. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me until the one page. It's a full page of him and Catwoman, and they're both like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it was like, oh yeah, that's not.
I don't dig his shading. I mean, it's yeah.
So one of the things that I really liked
continue pooping on it
is that all the weird shit that they were doing, like, why are you spending so much time on a fucking island? Oh, now we know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like that everything that we doubted, everything that we've been doubting recently is like, oh, you have an explanation for this. Yeah. Check. You have an explanation for this. Check. Okay. Like, that's good writing to me.
Yeah.
So you strung my ass along for how long now? And now we're finally getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. And man, but 4 issues left.
82, 83, 84, and 85. Yeah.
Well, and then we get the Bat and Cat.
Well, but also
annual number 4.
Batman annual number 4. So
Which is next
week, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I saw his tweet. He's just like, it connects to nothing. It's not, but it's just some good Batman stories that I hope you enjoy. It's like it doesn't,
which is fine.
Go along with what I've been.
Well, and he said something like it's like
or,
the culmination of all the things that he's learned while writing Batman and put it into like nice little stories or whatever. So
cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're the huge Tom King fan. Well, I mean, we're all big Tom King fans.
At the end of the day, I can't remember reading a Batman run better than this. Now, granted, I mean, you can't compare it to like 4 issues of Dark Knight Returns.
No. This is long form, ongoing.
And it just
the only one that rivals it
flows
is the Snyder run.
Yeah,
but it wasn't 85 issues.
No, and it wasn't that long before
it started. 52. This has been 85 issues consecutively,
and there was good and bad in there. But
sure,
yeah.
I won't crap on that. I'll crap on metal all day long. But
I mean, you have
Court of Owls and Zero Year,
yeah.
Death in the Family. Yeah, good stuff.
But I mean, it's still only 52 issues. This has gone on for far longer. So,
and I hope DC kind of takes note of that and keeps doing that, because usually you'll do like a 10-issue arc, and then you get new artists and new writers, and at some point I think that makes you fall off. Like, I'm not going to read Batman anymore, and then you don't come back,
right? Because
the story was just
or you feel like you're too far out of it to get it. Yeah. And the Tom King Batman has changed artists all the time. Every 3 or 4 issues is a new artist, but it's always been Tom King.
Yeah.
And I think that
consistency of your story. It's like you talked about the other week with the consistency of putting your books out on time. Mm-hmm. I mean, how much more would we appreciate Doomsday Clock?
Well, it would have already been over.
I mean, if it was in 12 weeks where you could stay with the story and not have to go,
I don't even know if it needs to be 12 weeks. What happened 2.5
months ago?
I don't even know if it needs to be 12 weeks, but it should have damn well been 12 months.
Well, I don't see why it can't be 12 weeks.
But even at 12 months.
Fair enough, yeah.
You still fucked that up, because that would have been December 2018. No, 2018. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah. And now it's going to be November, unless they push it again, November 2019 before it finishes. So it's been almost 2 years since number 1 released.
My give a damn has went significantly down.
It's all the way to 0.
Yeah.
100% to 0, because
I was picking up both covers
and I still am, because
you're a completionist.
Yeah. It's a character flaw. But
all right. So new beer.
So this is a collaboration of Boulevard and Modern Times. which I
sadness.
We apologize.
I guess is with Modern Times. I don't know if Modern Times is also another brewery or if it's a coffee place. Or...
My guess would be it's a coffee shop.
Okay, but anyway, it is Restless Nights, a bourbon barrel aged coffee porter with bourbon barrel aged beans.
I like the bourbon barrel. Not usually a porter.
So it's Modern Times.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, beer. Out of San Diego?
Weird.
What the F? Oh, scroll down. Yeah, it's a brewery out of San Diego, California. So our next book is Absolute Carnage number 4. Smells like coffee.
Yeah, and usually I'm kind of down with the coffee. I don't know. First sip, I'm not.
See, I think
you thought it was pretty good.
I think this is the best coffee infused beer I've ever had.
The Santa Fe Java Stout is hard to beat, but
Like, I'm not a huge coffee guy, and that's delish.
You like it?
that's pretty damn yummy.
Yeah, that's good. What's the percentage on this one? Like 100?
7.3.
Oh,
It's not horrible.
that was like 100. I mean, if I hear bourbon barrel, I think it's at least a tenner.
Oh yeah, but
Easy.
because it just gains all that. That's delicious,
Yeah.
and it's a frickin' porter.
Ugh. Just move past it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric's like, I am not convinced on this
I
one.
don't know. Yeah, I'm not. Schlafly's coffee stout is always going to be my favorite, and then the Santa Fe is also really good. It's growing on me though.
So Stegman. Not Stegman and his amazing friends. And forgive me if did I ask you about this last podcast? What is going on? So
I think they're just. I mean, they're obviously just messing around with each other and stuff. But yeah, the Stegman and his amazing friends got taken over by Chip Zdarsky and Zdarsco podcast company or whatever it was, and we did talk about it last time because he said some ridiculous things. I mean, he was like, "This podcast is being brought to you by DC," and all just things that you. And then all of a sudden, then Charles Soule, who is actually a lawyer, which I didn't know. I mean, so he's written Daredevil. So you had a lawyer writing Matt Murdock as a lawyer, which is kind of, and now he's taken over
the Soul Train.
The Soul Train now. They're clearly having fun with it.
So it's not Soule like I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was like, dude, I mean, it's a picture of a train. I figure it's a play on Soul Train.
But yeah.
I think a lot of the reason that I love this book is the art. And man, I really picked up on it this time because it could be cartoony, like page 3. I forget what it was, but there was something a little cartoony. But in other places, man, it just pops off the page like photorealistic, almost like the 4K of comic book art.
4K of comic book.
It's the shadows, light.
There's the Deadpool Spider-Man again.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
100%.
But. I mean, it's just the depth.
That shit right there is awesome.
The shading, the light.
Wow.
He
is, dude, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. He's close to maybe Jim Lee level.
I just know you got Chichetto rocking.
That page is so dope, dude.
You got Chichetto rocking on one side. You got him rocking. That's some really good art.
Yeah. Well, and then Clayman too. There's really
Well, I'm just talking art, Marvel wise.
Oh, just Marvel. Okay.
So one of the things I liked about this comic is that Eddie got to kick some ass without being dependent on the Venom symbiote.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. I wrote it a little different, but I like that Eddie was very much the anti-hero acting as a hero.
Yeah,
and that. It was good.
Yeah.
Because you have the craziness going on with Carnage and Venom and Hulk Venom and but then you have the humanistic, I'm not a hero, but I got to go do something.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then when he realizes that he's not alone, because like the whole thing in Venom is like, it's not you or me, it's we.
Yes.
And then now he's like, well, it's just me, and now he's
grabbing Captain America's shield and
but he figures out that Spider-Man's there, and there's a couple other people that are there, and then they end up going, and then spoiler, they actually figure out a way to save Miles Morales.
Yeah,
which I had completely written off because looked pretty taken over / dead to me, but okay, so. But yeah, what did you guys think about those?
I liked a lot of the same reasons. I liked the, in the previous issue, Venom is, kind of after Eddie because he won't kill, and so you kind of get the feeling of, wow, maybe Eddie's weak, maybe he's not cut out for this, but
it's even very much alluded to that, where he's like, if you can't do it, I'll find somebody stronger who will. But Eddie in this,
picks it up and decides, even without the suit, I'm going to head in with whatever I have, and you need 10 minutes. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, and that the scene, even though you don't like the Deadpool eyes, the scene with Spider-Man where he's like, you've got to take care of the kids. Like, this is not going to end well for me. Make sure that he's taken care of, and so it was good stuff.
It's just odd to me. The eyes, like, it just, when I think of Spider-Man, I don't think of dick on purpose, like facial expressions to the max.
Spider-Man's eyes have always, gotten bigger and smaller. I think
but this is like a comma.
Yeah, and it's like a Deadpool comma.
It's the amount of black around it that's, so
just it feels like when you're up so close like that,
the black should contract with the white. As the white gets smaller, the black, and then you would, know what I mean?
Yeah, I know it's not Deadpool, but
it throws you.
But it throws me. I'm like, oh yeah. And the next panel, it's spread out a little. And the shot's wider, so you can tell that it's clearly Spider-Man. So more so for you, Eric, but also, what do you think old Noel feels like about this? About Carnage just rolling around, self-proclaiming him a Venom god. What do you think Noel's going to have to say about that?
Oh, I think Carnage will get crushed.
I think Noel's going to come to town and
set things straight.
I think so. Like, yeah. I think Daddy's going to come home here in the next issue, and
because that's it, right? Five is it. So, man, it's gonna.
And then it continues in Venom 19 or whatever. Is like the aftermath or whatever.
Venom 19, I think, comes out next.
Or maybe it's Venom 20 then.
Yeah, probably.
So, we can't just keep this going.
No, but
then there's already. There's already another event with Venom after this. I don't know. It's like Venom Island. And all you see is a skull.
Lord of the Flies. And
it says, alas, poor...
what is it? Club Dread?
Wow. One goes highbrow, one goes lowbrow.
But it's got a picture of a Venom-shaped skull.
Like Treasure Island?
No, it says, like, alas, poor Venom.
Oh, it's
Hamlet.
So
it's definitely Club Dread.
Whatever it is, if it's
going to be
Cates
Club
and
Venom.
Stegman,
Club Venom.
I don't know.
At some point, you probably
Need to reread.
We need
Reread
to, in a
Venoms.
better,
Yeah.
because I think you'd probably dig it.
Knowing where it is now, you're like, oh yeah, I could see this now. It just doesn't make total bullshit sense.
And I'm because this was such a departure for me.
Oh,
I mean, everybody's talking about us
more than
like
the X-Men.
Like, I'll pick one of these up as an investment. I mean, it seems to have a bunch of buzz. Oh shit, this is really good.
Yeah, and then you pick up one for your kid, and
Oh yeah, I mean, I went back and I'm collecting it for Logan too.
And that first issue was not cheap. I mean, it was like an $8.
yeah, it's
bucks.
like $7, $8.
Yeah.
Went straight back and picked up another one.
Which
for
I'm
him.
so glad that they're not all that much. Like I would have paid it. If they were all that.
But you would have been mad
I'd have
about
been
it.
like, you fuckers! Like, who do you think you are? DC Black Label? Where's my magazine prestigious format? Which, by the way, I'm not sold on that shit.
No.
Like,
because then I got to buy a different bag,
Yeah.
a different board,
Yeah.
first world problems. Then it doesn't fit in my box. Where do you put it?
Up your ass.
It doesn't fit in my box.
Don't fit. Yeah, it doesn't fit in your box. Might fit up your asshole then. Damn, dude, that's a dope ass cover.
So, Chichetto
For the cover!
for the cover. Yeah, could you imagine my disappointment?
So we are talking about Dawn of X1
Yeah.
or X-Men. What is it? It's Dawn of
it's just-
X1.
This whole thing is Dawn of X. This is just X-Men number
Okay.
1.
Well, whatever. Something.
So, I don't even know where to start because
At the beginning.
I loved so much.
In
of
the
this.
beginning,
Um,
X-Men,
So-
Ron Krakoa.
the first thing that I wrote down was, is it wrong that I like Magneto so much in this new like I
No.
love the way that Hickman is writing him. Like it's just this, I am a badass mutant, and there's just something.
Can I play devil's advocate just a smidge? Because because I've loved building up to this.
Yes.
And I cracked this open, and I was like, is this really what we want? I mean, do we want to read 200 issues of humans fighting against mutants? I mean, is that where we're going? And I think, past my first impression of it, I think this will all be like the timelines, the different lives still going through. But to me, Magneto, this did not feel like a departure from Magneto. This feels like Magneto back Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, kill them all.
No,
You know,
it's not really that
just a
big of a
fascist
departure for him. But I don't know. There's something about it I love. I mean, he had so many good lines. The rubble or rabble. Like, is it too much to ask that there's no rubble or rabble beneath my feet when I land here as they're storming that?
Talk about first world
lab.
problem.
What else was it? Trying to read my writing. Oh, you won't have to, for I am Magneto. Let man run from me. I mean, you're right. It sounds exactly like it did probably in the 1960s in that first run of the X-Men, but I don't know. I like it.
And maybe I think in the short term it may be cool to be with that. I think going on 2 years from now, if Hickman's still writing this, are we gonna still see humans like put to death in mutant death camps? I mean, is that what we're coming to? Because that really felt like the tone of where we were going, at least from my perspective. I mean, Scott seemed just absolutely brainwashed into the propaganda machine.
Yeah, because he's like, do you believe a word of what you said? I believe every word of it. All right. Well, you're psycho, but okay.
And I mean, and this is just at first blush for me. I'm like, I came off this awesome high of reading.
It seems like
every
a departure
week.
or like a disconnect. I don't know. Like,
I guess I was hoping to find out more about the mystery and have it less be about how evil we humans are and how good the mutants are, and I don't know. And again, just first issue.
I didn't read that much into it, but one of the things...
because I feel like they were attacking the last lab of the Orcus place. Like, hopefully once they're thinking, once this is done,
then it's settled down and we'll just do our thing.
Then we're good. And then Cyclops could give you that speech where, I believe every word of this. We've taken care of it.
We don't know if they're like, we're assuming that the Magneto stuff and the Cyclops stuff are happening simultaneously. Like, we've been playing with time this entire freaking run. Like, do we even know that these are the same things?
Well, see, and I thought the mystery did deepen because in the lab they run across that girl that comes out is a post-human. That post-human was not supposed to. That timeline should have been
because doesn't she say something like I'm here too early or I'm out of time or out of place or something like that? I mean, she says some weird ass shit. That
should have ended there in the sixth life. If
it didn't,
something's wrong because if
they're
showing up,
I think someone or something has found a way to break through the timelines.
Ooh.
Or has the ability to exist,
to tinker with it,
or has the ability to exist
in multiples,
in multiple timelines. So I think there's something. I think what he's going to try and do is there's going to be some sort of like, it's either going to be like a new mutant that we've never heard of, or it's going to be,
or you take an old mutant like Golden Balls.
But I wonder. So like this is going to get really weird for a second. So
strap in, folks.
Strap in. Yeah, we're going on a tangent ride. It's going to make sense, I promise. So like the thing is like if we ever met alien, I know it's bad. Then
here we go.
Could they be humans from the future?
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
So these post-human people,
anybody with significantly higher technology than what we have now would seem
alien, quote unquote.
Yes.
So could these post-human or whatever you're going to be just be mutant human hybrids from the future?
Or human machine.
Something hybrid from the future.
Yeah. Because that's how the Sentinels were going with that program, was the nano.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think they are. And I think one of them is a mutant. And they have the ability to exist in multiple timelines.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
But the fact that we can have conversations about comic books like that, I think is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how you guys felt about the whole, the Summers house on the moon part. Because I started reading that part and there's so many different people in there that I was like, oh, I don't know if Brian and Brian are really going to enjoy this part. Because, I mean, it's Corsair, it's Cyclops' dad and the Starjammers and everything, which are a little bit less known.
I was fine with it.
Figures. Really I really liked the Corsair and Cyclops dialogue, and of course the Krakoan goo that that they had to barter with Krakoa because Krakoa wanted it to be like consumable plates and they compromised on the goo that cleans it, and the only thing, I mean, the weird thing about, so Wolverine is living in the Summers house, which is,
I was just gonna ask you about this,
which is so it's almost an entire house composed of people from the Summers line. You've got Cable, you've got Hope, you've got Jean. Polaris is supposed to have a place there, but she's not showing up. And then you have Wolverine. And then it gets even weirder because there's a map, and on the right-hand side of the map, it shows you the layout of all the rooms. That right-hand side is 3 rooms, Jean in the middle, Logan to one side and Cyclops to the other side with connecting doors between all those 3 rooms.
It's a party.
So, yeah.
So no guest room for Emma Frost.
I don't know.
Whose room's big? Like, we getting an orgy going or what? I mean, come on, man. I mean, something's happening.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. All right.
I mean, the beer scene with Cyclops and Wolverine from a couple issues back takes it on a whole new.
Yeah.
So, you're stupid Gene.
What are we doing later tonight?
Yeah, that just feels kind of weird.
It is, but
yeah.
Hey, man.
We'll see.
There are dirtier books out there.
Yeah. I found them.
At least a couple. All right.
What's next?
What is next is Gideon Falls number 17. I can't believe I just said that.
So there's a dude.
Yeah.
And
some nails.
Some nails.
And a portal.
Pieces of wood.
Yeah.
And a
then
smiling demon.
Yeah.
I feel like the Joker book that they're gonna do.
Oh yeah,
You already got the smile down.
Joker smile. What is it called?
I think it is Joker smile.
Joker smile. Yeah, I think so.
I think there's another.
Out this week,
I think there's another word in there. It's like something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I think there's a third. I think there's a third word. In there. I think it's Joker something smile.
Yeah.
Anyway,
next week, I think.
Yeah, next week. Anyway, so not a whole lot to talk about this one. I do want to note that the front cover does say 2019 Eisner Award winner for Best New Series, which, here's my thing, man. Why don't people do that more often? Like, hey, man, if you won an award, I would toot the horn, man. Like, toot it. I like seeing that on the book. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I like seeing
the title, Joker, Killer Smile.
I knew there was another word in there. All right. So, our next beer is the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. Not pumpkin. Pumpkin. Like a little pumpkin.
Which, didn't they get sued over
pumpkin?
The pumpkin ale. Didn't Anheuser-Busch put the smackdown on him?
Okay. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it, but I don't know, man.
Okay.
It's been I
mean, it's drinkable. I was not looking forward to it. I won't lie. It's drinkable. I don't know that I'm gonna race out and
for sure.
But it's very nutmeggy.
So
maybe allspice.
Well, it's got like some nutmeg or some cinnamon maybe in there somewhere. Maybe some cumin.
Wow.
Coriander. Gideon Falls 17. Okay. So we learned some shit in this one. We learned that the bishop has in a warehouse a machine that maybe creates a portal to whatever Gideon Falls time period that he wants it to go into. Is that what you got out of it?
Which is convenient.
Very convenient. The question that I have is why we waited till 17 to figure out that the Catholic Church knew about this the whole time. And then also, how many of these are there? Is it just this one in Gideon Falls, or are there other machines, other places? Do we know? No. But the one thing I do want to talk about is like, do you guys see this turning the corner now? Like, I feel like in the last 2 issues, we've learned more about what the fuck is going on than we have in the first 16 books.
Yeah, I feel like the pieces are starting to fall into place, and I don't know. Is it supposed to wrap up?
I don't think so, but like, I just...
It needs to.
Well, not necessarily. It just, you need to get to a certain point in the story where I'm like, okay, I fucking understand what happened now. Then you can build off that again if you want to keep the story going. But like...
I just feel like we're in 17.
Yeah.
I feel like you could wrap the story in 3 more issues, and I would be like, we're good.
And I don't know if they are.
I don't either, but don't you feel like you could do a couple more issues like this where, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Have some aha moments and feel like, man, that's a wrap at 20, and that was a good run. Because I don't know that I need to read 50 issues of this book.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's at least going to 21 because this was 1 of 5. So
fair enough.
But if it wraps up at 21, still, I mean, I don't think it's going to, but you know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
if they wrapped up this entire story.
Yeah, and then took a break maybe.
But then the barn shows up somewhere else,
yeah,
and we
with new people
and we start this over again.
Not even new people, just a new area, or I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like we've made strides in the last couple of issues that have been like, all right, let's go. Like, and I hope we don't like fall back into okay, well, stuff's happening, but I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Because there were probably 6 or 7 issues where we're like, all of us were like, I still like it, but I got no idea what's going on, but I still like it. And I don't feel like we're necessarily dumb people. It's just just very out there.
Oh, it's out there for sure, and it's like it doesn't make none of it makes
things
sense.
are definitely coming together now. And we just have to have some kind of payoff. I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
So
money shot.
Exactly. Safe sex.
Yeah.
Faithless. Kafka. Okay.
Just make fun of all my books.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you saw the giant Kafka roach in this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can never really talk bad about that anymore, which depresses me.
Sorrentino, I saw her. I follow her on Twitter, and like basically, it doesn't get any more disgusting to her than a cockroach. So when she thinks about like the root of all evil in these books,
a cockroach.
It comes out as a cockroach.
That's actually pretty cool.
That's nice. I like that. Okay. Our next book is Boom Comics Once in Future number 3. All right. Have you ever met someone like the Gran in this book?
I've met dude. I've never met anybody that shoots me, digs up a weapons cache, can explain mythical beasts, and trigger plastic explosives that have a mix of allspice and vampire silver shavings, and be prepared.
But one of my favorite parts about this book is when they're going to that chick's house and she opens the door and Gran's just like, let me in. Gran, we can't point guns at people. It's really effective. Like, yeah, it is. It is.
I find it, that was almost a little too convenient that it's the chick he went to dinner with in issue 1.
I mean,
I don't care. It's a comic book. I got over it. But but to me, that's a little lazy.
What earrings was she wearing?
Yeah. They were silver, not gold. Anti-werewolf.
They matched her dress. Okay, anyway. Dude,
tell me those giant-ass earrings.
Motherfucker.
Were not distracting
they are
as
a little
shit.
Distracting.
They're distracting now that you pointed them out.
Yeah.
Anyway. But Gran is just a fucking savage.
Oh, yeah.
Like... just keep kneeling. Well, what are you doing? Oh, just
She's got a
Beretta
sniper
50
rifle.
cal. You know, and it's like, dude, like, I wish, I don't know. Could you get like Betty White to play that or some shit? Like, that's what I like.
No, Betty White's too sweet. You need somebody just a little rough around the edges, just a little vinegar.
Like Meryl Streep?
Okay.
Helen Mirren, maybe?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
shit, yes.
Helen Mirren.
I can't think of her name right now, but the Professor McGonagall.
Maggie Smith, dude, she's way too old for that shit, dude. She's like in her fucking 80s, man.
Yeah.
She'd be savage, though. She's savage on Downton Abbey. All right. Well, okay. Yeah. It's drinkable, dude.
Better than I thought, but still not racing out to
No,
to repurchase.
Like, if there was some way for there to be basically a piece of pumpkin pie with whipped cream in a glass.
Oh, man, that's what it needs. It's just like a dollop of whipped cream on top. Yeah. Wow.
Fucking Ready Whip again. Yeah, fucking Ready Whip, dude.
Our friend Sean used to say that people would dip the rim in Cool Whip and
Cool Whip.
Oh, yes.
and then
Cool Whip.
and then drink the pumpkin ales.
Cool
I've
Whip.
forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool Whip. All right. So you had some. We/you have the cover.
Oh, sure. Yeah, this.
Yes.
Right away.
Okay.
Right away. What to do?
Hey, I'm glad to
So-
see you got a first printing.
I did, yeah. Something is Killing the Children, #2. I mean, I finally got my first printing of #2 when I finally got my fourth printing of #1 in the same week.
Hey,
So-
this is wacky, but I got a second printing of Something is Killing the Children #2 a week after the first printing. Man, they must have just worked day and night to get that second printing out, or they just limited the amount so it would be in a second printing.
I 100% believe you now. I wasn't fully on board, but like if you have a #2 with a different cover ready to go the next week, bro, you've planned that shit 100%.
Or they saw what was happening with #1 and knew they were
Then
going
why
to
wouldn't
up
you just
number-
print more number twos?
They might have. You don't
No
you
way.
don't know.
No way.
I'm not letting it
'Cause,
take away from the story, but I'm a little butthurt that I've not been able to get a first printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I feel like we got a huge thing in #2 here because we kind of find out that the monsters are kind of all around, can show up, but like adults can't see them, and the monsters don't seem to be able to harm adults.
Okay, so that's what it was, because the brother is outside the Appleberries.
Yeah.
And there's
Not Applebee's.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look exactly like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a full-on, 30-eyed monster right
on top
outside
of
his
it.
car, and he doesn't even see it, and it doesn't harm him. So you're absolutely right.
So, but yeah, I think the other big thing from this issue was, not all the kids have been killed. There's some kids who are just missing, and you just at first you kind of think, oh well, they're just dead and they haven't been found yet. But the girl who's hunting them realizes this is a monster who is storing up its
I'm
food.
filling my larder.
And those missing kids may actually still be alive. There's got to be a cave somewhere around where this monster is hoarding its next meal. So pretty cool. It ends in a kind of a odd way. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here with this. Because we kind of end with this weird hologram in the hotel room.
Yeah, like, does that dude see it? Because, I mean, he sees a shadow under the door, and he's like, what's going on? And
So,
yeah, I find it very, very good. I'm very much on board. I'm just like, I can't believe you're not putting out enough copies. That's and maybe number 1 I can understand. By the time you get to number 2 and you've already got a second printing chambered, that's the only I feel like they did the same thing with Once and Future. It's to artificially stimulate the that's in a 5th printing, it must be wonderful.
Yeah, and I
feel like it's disingenuous.
I think, and I see parts of that, but I also think,
hey, hang on, who's that?
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy.
I don't know about that one, but
but we've also seen that with Absolute Carnage has gone back to a second printing before it even came out.
I could get a first printing day of though.
Yeah. Sure.
This I had to go and track down. Yeah, and pay $10 for. Yeah, because it was already
in a second or third printing,
so far down.
I think that's why. And as we follow more and more people on Twitter, I see more and more of this. Like, they really would like you to get that order in,
yes,
because then
you can know what to print.
So it makes it a little bit tough when we're going to the comic book stores and picking up just those 1 or 2 extra copies that they've gotten in, but but at the same time it's kind of hard to know all the ones to pre-order in time, because the cutoff is a few weeks ahead of time, so you really have to be on top of things
to be savvy,
to know how to get those in. And
because I get it, as a comic book retailer, you don't want to have all this dead merchandise just sitting on your shelves because you ordered 50 of this thinking it's going to be great, and there was no demand for it.
Yeah.
Aren't those preview books not free though? Those big quarterly preview books that they put out, I don't think they're free.
I don't think they are. I mean,
it'd be nice if your preview books were free, then I could see what you were coming out with, and then I could maybe tell you what I wanted.
But even then, I mean, I feel like we do a version of that every week before we go to the store. You scroll through and see what the new releases are, and
yeah, but I mean, you're talking
make that
6
judgment.
weeks in advance. You need to have the order in.
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
tough.
I don't know if I could be thinking about January comics in October. Somebody certainly is thinking about it, but me as the consumer at a consumer level, should I be doing that?
Yeah, I mean, because as I just said, we do it right before. I'm like, oh, Strange Skies over East Berlin. What's this about? And you make that game time decision of, all right, I flipped through it a little bit. The art looks okay. Story looks good.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. I think you miss that if you're just like, oh, I like this artist and this guy, and I'll give it a try.
Yeah, well, because, I mean...
And 6 months later, you're like, I don't even remember liking,
Quite frankly, I love me some Frank Miller, but the Superman Year One, I didn't even pick up... I'm not going to pick up the third one.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, this has been sitting in there for a couple of times now. I've been wanting to get to this one. So next beer is from Cigar City, out of Tampa. Anybody want to? Is that Guayabera? Guayabera? I mean, Uruguay is spelled that way. So
I feel like you're gonna have the leg up since you won the Gose.
I don't know.
It's a Citra Pale Ale.
Citra Pale Ale. Yeah,
that's what I know. I could read that much.
We'll see.
Guayabera, maybe. Guayabera. I'm gonna say Guayabera or Guavabera. Guavabera. I don't know. Fucking who gives a shit. Guayab Bear. All right. So, our last comic book to talk about is.
You guys haven't.
Neither one of you didn't even see it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't even see it. The comic book
because I was for real gonna give it a second chance.
Yeah.
So
I liked it a lot. I hate to give away too much because I
this
figure
is
you guys will.
J.J. Abrams Spider-Man issue number 2.
Issue number 2. You know, at the end of number 1, Ben, you know, gets into the box and gets the Spider-Man suit out, and you know he's realized, okay, oh, my dad was Spider-Man, and now I'm starting to have all these powers as well.
Yeah.
You know, and so you think, okay, so surely issue 2, you know, he's going to put this on, and he's going to, you know, one of the first scenes in issue number 2 is he's put it out on the grill and is trying to burn it, and it's just like, nope, not accepting this, and
interesting.
I won't give away everything that happens after that, but things happen, and Peter is back by the end of the issue, and
is he still a dick?
You don't really. He's just. Peter. He shows up at the end and is.
Peter.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't because I do think you guys should pick it up. I don't want to just completely spoil the whole thing.
For sure.
I think you'll like it more than you did number 1.
Which I wasn't so down on number 1. He was the one that was down on number 1.
Yeah,
shocking.
But I did understand your point about, you know, it's like, hey man, wife's dead, but
just kind of an absentee dad.
Can't raise your kid. But I always felt like there has to be some sort of reason why he would just go
rogue.
Deuces, kiddo. Like, don't give a shit that you're named after my Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Dropping you off here.
By the way, you're the only reminder that I have of my wife. So, but overall, you enjoyed the second issue. That's good.
Number 2 was very good. Yep,
that's good. That's good.
Annual number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that just smacks of Batman Year 1 to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that was not even in the picture.
We all saw it
before it popped away. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
All right. So I watched the first episode of Watchmen, and it's I don't really know how to feel about it.
It's really good.
That is really good. Yeah, the beer is very good. It's fresh. That's what I want to call it. Fresh or floral, maybe.
Citra hop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
It is very tasty.
Veritol, a hop that imparts notes of tangerine, lime, and berries. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty good. So anyway, it seems to be after Watchmen, like the Watchmen story. It seems to be the world,
because it was all going to be fixed after Watchmen. Because
it's not though. Okay. Things are not great. Like
So constructing a space alien, teleporting it in, and
no.
Didn't cure everybody. Everybody
wasn't. So
singing Kumbaya.
So there's a headline on a paper that says Veidt confirmed dead. And then there's like a thing that says Dr. Manhattan's return to Mars. And that's kind of all the Watchmen like direct stuff that you see, except
so it's Watchmen adjacent.
Yeah, like I said before. Yeah. But instead of there being the KKK, there's now the Calvary with a K, and they're wearing Rorschach masks. And they apparently, what I think has happened is their leader,
that special material that he created.
Well, hold on, their leader has gotten a copy of Rorschach's journal, I think, is what's happened, and has kind of used it as a manifesto to, because they all say something like they talk like Rorschach when they talk, and so it's like they're very indoctrinated into this whole like, you're not in here with me, or I'm, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just, my biggest problem with it is it feels like you're not trying to tell me a Watchmen story. It feels like you're trying to tell me a story about current day, but putting it in a Watchmen-esque universe. And I'm not 100% sold on it.
Is there any hashtag MeToos yet?
No, but there's hashtag the world is black and white.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm pretty sure
weird.
I'll not be watching
It's
it.
weird. But Don Johnson's in it, so it's kind of okay. Like Don Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Like Miami Vice.
Is
Don
Tubbs
Johnson.
showing up too?
I don't know who that is.
Well, I watched the first episode of Arrow, Arrow's final season, which seems pretty interesting. Like, I haven't watched it for probably 3 or 4 seasons now, but I was like, I'll give it, this is the final one. I know it's all building to this Crisis on Infinite Earth, all of their shows. And I mean, they're bringing back everybody, like Burt Ward showing up in this,
Kevin Conroy's
Linda
playing.
Carter's showing up. The paper, I mean, they've shown a picture of a paper, and it's the Michael Keaton Batman is there, and he's the headline of the paper is.
Well, I think I did see that.
Keaton or Bruce Wayne to marry Selena Kyle, and so I was like, okay, I'm intrigued enough to give it a shot. Like, the first episode was really good, because Oliver is actually on Earth 2, but he's just coming back from the island, so he knows all the things that are getting ready to happen, but then different things occur, but it was fun to watch because those first few seasons of Arrow were
amazing.
really good.
Yes.
So this was like going back to that first, and he's, oh my gosh, he's running into his mom, who's been dead since like the end of season 1, I think, or maybe 2.
No,
like season 3 or something
two
like
or
that.
three,
very-
because
Doesn't Malcolm
probably
Merlin
2.
kill her?
No, I think it was Deathstroke.
It was
Deathstroke killed her.
Somebody
But
did.
lots of cool little things. So they show him on the island for just a little bit, and how he gets rescued again. But if you remember from that season 1, you just get the shot of Deathstroke's mask hanging on the
pole,
stick.
Yeah.
It's not Deathstroke's mask hanging on the stick this time. It's Batman's.
Oh shit.
So, like, on Earth 2, I don't know if they're going to go back to it or not, but on Earth 2, Bruce Wayne was like on.
Okay.
Dude.
So just
on
FYI,
you with
maybe you've done a better job explaining than you. I don't know. I don't give 2 Fs about the Watchmen. I might need to watch Arrow, because that really sounds.
I hope they go back to it, because like that was when you go and you see that kind of a broken Batman mask on there, you're like, oh crap, this is good. So
I'd always hoped. I thought we heard rumors they were going to do Green Arrow longbow hunters, and
Well, supposedly he's sporting a goatee in this season.
no, he looks like he
All
came just like he came back from the.
Well, maybe it's like a coming up issue or a coming up episode, but like there was a report that says like Stephen Amell like caught like with a blonde goatee or whatever, and I'm like, all right, that sounds like longbow hunters to me. I
I don't know.
I think you missed your chance to do longbow hunters.
Oh, 100%.
I think you should have started with it.
Yeah.
Well, and knowing that Arrow's ending with this season, I mean, you got to think he's going to be the hero to die in the Crisis.
I hope his arm gets ripped off and he shoots an arrow with his teeth, because that'd be dope.
I don't think it was Crisis, but at some point, Hal Jordan goes nuts and decides he's going to just collect all the Green Lantern rings and be the most powerful lantern there is. And he kills Green Arrow.
You'd have to introduce fucking Green Lantern.
But that's
crazy, dude.
I don't know that was a Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't think it was, but that's why then, when they Kevin Smith brought him back from the dead.
Oh, okay.
But for his Green Arrow run.
Huh.
So that's very interesting.
Anyway,
it's fair. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I haven't watched Arrow since they returned to the island, and people are blowing up and shit. And
when he and was it Felicity Smoke were playing Susie Homemaker, I'm just like,
yeah, but they
deuces, I'm out.
They cut that shit out.
I just took one episode and I was like, oh, I do not need to see this.
It became too soap opera-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the formula, and that's why I could never get in on Flash, because I'm like, guys, I know the formula. Well, I've watched Arrow, and it's that same.
See, the thing with the Flash is bro, I understand that his superpower is that he runs really fast, but if I have to hear "Run, Barry, run" one more fucking time,
yeah, it got old.
It's I know. Hey, guess what? The kid who runs really fast can solve all his problems by running. Wow. Wow.
I wasn't trying to shit on Flash, dude. I was just saying.
I know. I'm not. Well, I guess I can.
Yeah, you're 100%. Yeah. Sure. All right. So, what are we picking up next week? Harleen #2?
I am.
That's a pretty good cover.
Yeah. It's a pretty good comic.
It didn't seem like a really big week next week.
It was quite a bit.
Was it?
I'm not seeing much.
I know it was Excalibur #1.
Killer Smile.
Killer Smile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a much better cover. Last God.
Venom number 19.
Yeah, Venom 19.
And the Batman Annual.
Yeah.
I only have about 4 or so next week.
Yeah. What about that basket full of heads?
Yeah, I looked at that.
Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. He did Lock and Key.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a very successful.
Yeah. So that's a DC comic. And then next week I think is also Hellblazer is returning with Cy Spurrier as the writer. But I don't know what you guys think on that one.
Game time.
But yeah, that Batman Annual, it's going to be great.
Basket full of heads.
Yeah.
DC Black Label, Joe Hill.
And then Last God or something.
Yeah,
too.
I saw. Yeah,
that looks weird. I noticed that Marvel did some anime shit recently. There was Arrow, AERO, and then
there's been quite a few.
Some dude with a magic sword or something, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But I don't know, is this DC's response to that? I don't know that really you shoot an anime comics. There's manga for that. there's a whole nother medium for anime. Anyway, what do we think for beer of the pod? I am gonna go with the Boulevard Modern Times cup. It was delicious.
I liked them all. I thought they were all really good.
Gotta catch them all.
I'm gonna stick with the Wind Shift Cranberry Orange. That was good.
Brian, it is
good
up
stuff.
to you, sir. Done. Do 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 do. Yeah.
It was those two. I mean, that was really good. That was drinkable. I'm just
Restless.
Hey, I brought them all, so I'm happy with
absolutely
with all the results there.
But and I really like the Wind Shift, but
That
just feel
really
like
surprises me that you guys like. I mean,
it's a freaking porter.
you don't even like.
I hate porters,
and you don't like cold coffee either. All that much, right?
No,
It's delicious, dude.
it was
delicious,
very complex and yeah, very well done.
delicious. All right,
This was right behind it, but
for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'd say
I'm not huge on IPAs, but I really liked the Citra.
Absolutely.
Pale ale.
the Citra Pale Ale
That counts
would
as
be
an IPA, right? I mean, or it's just a
Yeah,
pale ale.
It's just a pale ale, but
not really
a lot of times it's very hop forward, and I felt like that was so. It's almost an IPA.
American Pale Ale. That's what it says.
Okay.
Not an Indian Pale Ale.
Right, but
APA.
an APA, but
Yeah, it's still a pale ale family. It's still hop forward instead of like a malt forward. It's the same family as an IPA. Family. All right.
familia.
Yes, La Familia. All right. So our contact information will be in the description as always. If you like what we did, please like and subscribe. And we'll be back shortly with another issue, and that'll wrap it up for this issue. Yeah. So hashtag break free.